My name's Margo, and my story's called The Night the Sky Turned Orange. Mom rushed into the bedroom. "There's a fire across the street," she said, thrusting empty white pillowcases at my sister Sharon and me. "Pack whatever you need for a sleepover at Lenore and Jim's in these. Be quick about it. I have to go get the grandmothers." Sharon and I exchanged a bewildered look. She was 8, I was 5.5. We just finished our bath and put on our nightgowns, ready for bed. It was around 7 p.m. on a weeknight in late March, 1959. With no real understanding of what was happening, we did as we'd been told. We began filling our pillowcases. A few minutes later, our 15-year-old sister Gail came into the room, carrying our pet rabbit, Snowball. "Hurry up," she snapped. "We have to go now." Bulging pillowcases in hand, Sharon and I followed her through the house to the front hall. We pushed our feet into our boots and slipped our coats on over our nightgowns. Gail handed the rabbit to Sharon and picked up our old deaf cat, Daisy May, who was meowing loudly and winding herself between Gail's legs. Mom appeared with 8-month-old Bob in her arms and our Cocker Spaniel Tommy at the end of his leash. As the only one with a free hand, I opened the door. Our brother Terry, who just turned 17, stood at the bottom of the steps, our red wood wagon beside him. He took Mom's suitcase and Sharon's pillowcase and put them in the wagon with 3 other bundles and the covered bird cage holding Mom's canary, Sweetie Pie. The grandmothers, who lived in separate apartments on the upper 2 floors of our house, came out the 2nd floor door and stood momentarily on the landing. Grammy Nell, Dad's mother, started down first, one hand holding the railing, the other grasping the handle of a small black suitcase. Grammy Cook, Mom's mom, followed behind her, an expression of impatience on her thin face. They lived next door to one another, but they didn't really get along very well. As soon as they joined us on the sidewalk, Mom said, "Let's go." "Wait," I asked, "where's Daddy?" "He's staying behind to spray water on the house," my mother explained, "to keep the sparks off. He'll be fine." I think she said it to reassure herself as much as us. She nudged me with her elbow. "We need to get a move on." Our house was located at the western end of Oakville's main street, which was now closed to traffic. Our motley-looking family parade headed off down Colburn Street. Behind us, sirens wailed and bells rang. Firefighters yelled incomprehensible instructions to one another. Water poured from hydrants through hoses into the sky, and smoke filled the air as the Trafalgar building burned. It only took a few minutes for us to reach the home of my parents' friends, Hilda and Doug Wood, a block and a half away on First Street. Their apartment occupied first floor of an old Victorian mansion. They had no children, but we visited them regularly. I loved the high ceilings and huge windows in their living room, as well as the linen cupboard at the end of the hall that held a selection of special toys and coloring books for young visitors. "We're going to stay here until Jim comes to get us," Mom explained. Jim Craig and his wife Lenore were my parents' best friends. They had a house on the west side of town that was big enough to accommodate our family for the night. "Take the animals down to the den until he gets here," Mom said, adding, "and keep the door closed." I took Tommy's leash from Mom while Gail and Sharon carried the cat and the rabbit down the hall to the room Hilda and Doug called the den. It was a darkish room with a big desk and chair on one side, a couple of comfy chairs in the middle, and a padded bench under the window. Hilda had put newspaper on the floor and placed a box full of holes in the corner. Sharon put Snowball in the box and folded the top flaps down, while Gail set the cat on the floor and unclipped Tommy's leash. The cat and dog, fast friends, lay down together, shaking with fear over the strange surroundings and the tension they could sense in the people around them. "Stay here and make sure they don't make a mess," Gail instructed Sharon and I as she left, closing the door behind her. Sharon curled up in one of the comfy chairs, wrapping her arms around her pulled-up knees. I retrieved my favorite teddy bear from my pillowcase and, hugging him to my chest, climbed up onto the bench to look out the window. Past the trees and beyond the apartment building to the northwest, I could just see the roof of our house. Above it, the sky glowed a bright orange. The sight of those flames, reaching high into the night sky, was both fascinating and frightening. I couldn't tear my gaze away.